Well, happy spring, everybody. It's been pretty out here, banging, But out here at Spiritual Ranch, I'm Shesho Shesh, not no Noehe. I am the off-grid oracle. So I posted a couple videos on here lately. Not a whole lot. I haven't been doing a whole lot. I came out banging when I first tried the whole thing, and you know, Spirit's been kind of riding my ass a little bit because I haven't been sharing the conversations that I have with Spirit, with Collective, and they've been telling me that they gave me a gift for a reason, right? And so I understand that, but they've been telling me for some time now that I need to make it more of a collective effort, that I got to come out of my uh, hermit mode, come out of my shell, come out of myself, And so I tried a couple different reads, trying to get the feel, for the energy and everything, and it's not that I'm shy or insecure. It's just that I've always communed with Spirit in private, and so very powerfully. But they're riding my ass, like I say, telling me that I gotta get out here and do more of it, for whatever reason, and I've been kind of arguing with them because, which I do often. I often argue with spirits, probably why I spend so much time alone. But they appreciate the conversation, But they were telling me that because I asked them, I say, Spirit, you chose me. Like, why would you choose me? You gave me a message. You gave me a strong, powerful message. You gave me a strong ability to receive that message from you, and understand that and have those conversations. And it's truth, that you teach me, Spirit. And but why would you choose me to understand that truth and that spirit and that spirit's teaching? Why would spirit teach me these things? Is what I asked him. Because I really live in a world, that hates me, and I asked spirit, like, why would you choose somebody that the world hates to relay messages for you? It's like, isn't it best off of a tongue that is received well? And spirit told me that they work in places that people don't see, They say that they work in places that, and with individuals that you have to look hard to see the truth in them, because they want everybody to learn the truth the same way that I did, and that makes a lot of sense to me, And so they said that they want the world to see goodness in the things that they hate, and to realize maybe that they've been overly judgmental, and maybe not so much of themselves as they have been of others, and that even out of the darkness, the light can shine, and a spiritual friend of mine, this person I've never met, I don't know, it's hard to say. My interactions are solely online with people because I don't have real people around me. I live alone. I'm very isolated, And but there's a friend of mine on YouTube here, just she's my friend. I don't know. I'm not that person's friend probably, but that's okay by me. That person's still my friend. And they said that dark rose will always bloom in the darkness, that even in the darkness that flower can bloom. And so Spirit's asking me to be the light, and everybody thinks that I'm the darkness, and that's the way that Spirit operates, because that's how we learn our lessons, It's when we see through the cloak, and we see through the disguise, because what's really taking advantage of most of us, a lot of us today, is the darkness that's cloaked in good, and they're the ones that are running the world with this weak ass shit, and with soft hands and stuff like that, and kind words, and falsities, yeah, and they want to really paint a bad picture on individuals like me who are of the light now, because we are shrouded in the darkness, because the light is the light image, the image of light has been manipulated by liars and thieves, and so Spirit talks to me and tells me the truth of this realities, and exposes these truths to me daily, and keeps me protected from them very much, because they put me really through it, through the dark. And now I really know the dark intimately, but in a way that even the dark doesn't, because I've never tried to hide from it, And same goes for the light. Like, I've never hidden my light when I was in the darkness, And so Spirit's telling me I'm trying to get out here and work on my pickup truck and stuff. I got all the tanks dropped, and I got to get it done. But Spirit's telling me, man, you need to sit down and read them cards, and you put something out there, just to put something on YouTube, And so, whether it's 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 400 billion subscribers, it don't matter, That's what Spirit says. Like, he could do powerful work even through an individual like me, completely alone out here in the mountains, And so if even a house mouse accidentally hears my YouTube feed and picks up that message, then they can change the world, So I can't argue with that. I got all day long to fix my pickup. I guess I can sit down here and do a little read, right? And see what kind of energy we pick up on. I feel my energies have been really not real clear, not real directed, because just my own things are going on, just growth, growth and ascension and everything. And so that's also why I've shied away from trying to put anything on YouTube spiritually like that, but keeping it kind of mechanical, And so it's important to be, when you're a person that's in my position, it's important to not read your own energy, and get out of that karmic cycle that I think a lot of us are stuck in, a lot of people are really stuck in, feeding on and feeding into, And so most I want us to break that cycle and speak collectively, from open space, without victims and without victimizers, without predators or prey. And so I think Spirit won the argument with me. They did. They won me. They won. I'll shut up with that, because it don't hurt me to do their biddings. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't embarrass me, or it doesn't do me wrong to try. And if they need to have that access to a channel like that, they get to work through like that they've got isolated enough that's in a pure enough space, and that happened to be me, then that's a major blessing, And like, even if just that one mouse is the one that heard the message and changed the world, that's a major blessing. And so there's a lot of silver tongues out here nowadays. There's a lot of people who speak from their own self-interest in most all regards, and that's something that God Most High is getting ready to change, And they got them spirits whispering in my ear big time about that, and that's the truth. It's coming, man. They have me poised. They got me protected. And so I know it's coming. I know. Sometimes things. Just sometimes, So it's all, anybody here that's joining me on this read, whenever time that you're joining me, could be now, it could be 1,000 years ago, or it could be 1,000 years from now. I speak to the living and the dead. Oftentimes it's only the dead that listen. I am channeled for God Most High. They use their highest spirits, to communicate through me. They know me as Shesh or Shesh, not known the way. And that stands for she who whispers loudly with a sharp tongue. And I ask that only God's cleanest and most pure spirits channel through me, and only God Most High, and only a message that is in deliverance of God Most High. They've spent a lot of time tampering me. I've been in the fire, and they wielded my tongue into a very powerful sword, sharpened on both sides, and it is the sword of truth. when God uses it to speak their word, you know. And that was a powerful blessing in itself. And we're here to teach a message and a lesson, you know, that when we stand in our high truths, we stand in our inner wisdom, and we stand in our living relationship with God Most High, the abundance that we receive is always plentiful. It's always massive and never ending, you know, and enough for everybody. It takes one individual to walk in faith with the Most High to feed Legion. And that is a metaphysical meal, that is an emotional meal, as well as that is a physical meal that we all belly up to, you know. And God Most High just happens to be the best chef in the universe. And they cook something up for you that they don't leave you asking for more. No, nothing new, man. No, nothing better, because you know there ain't nothing better, man. You just ask for seconds. That's what you do. You ask for more and more. You want all that God give you, man. Every time that devil cooks you up a meal here on this world, and these people in this physical and shit, man, they're cooking you poison. That's what God Most High has been telling me. And they're feeding you poison, you know. So please protect us in this reading now. Spirit, please walk with us. Please deliver to me your messages that you want us to receive. Please use my tongue as the sharp and dangerous weapon that you formed it into. Your fire has not burned me, but fed my soul. I'm blessed because I know you, and I walk with you Most High. What do these people need here, man? I hear you always in my ear. Should you talk more, little guy? Always in my ear, Spirit, you know. You know, I'm always listening, so I'll argue with you, but I'm always listening. So, what these folks need to hear out here, man. What's the collective need to hear? What kind of energy is the collective in, Spirit? What kind of energy is the collective in, Spirit? What's the energy of the day? The word of the day yesterday was resourcefulness. That's a good word. I like that word. I might make that the word of every day. I think that's going to be useful for a lot of people here moving forward in this economic uncertainty and whatnot that we are all experiencing today. So I'm sure the economy is probably on everybody's mind, huh, Spirit? What do you think? The world affairs, you know, always all these guys out here, all these dumb dumbs. MFers out here, man, trying to play games with nuclear weapons, you know. Crazy, man. I keep talking about this shit. I quit sitting here at the table just because, you know, Spirit's telling me to get your ass over to the table. So what are we going to talk about, Spirit? Regarding this world, regarding the condition of things, you know, regarding the spiritual growth that we, the chosen, are all going through and experiencing right now, because it's been intense, definitely, you know. I know we're all in this boat together, so not any one of us is on an individual journey that separates us from you. We're in this collectively, so I am we are you, and us is them, and them is us, you know. So what we gotta know here, Spirit? So we are in the Three of Wands energy. And Three of Wands is that's good energy for everybody to be in, because you've gone past the Two of Wands energy now, and you're got a plan, you know. You got a better idea on where you're trying to go in life and what your mission is, you know. You may not be all the way there yet, you know, but there's opportunities for you, because you've seen past that Two of Wands position, you know, and you've come up with that plan, you know. You've made a decision as to what direction that you're going to go in. And so that's why you're ready to set sail. You got your ship set there setting sail. They're heading out of the harbor, you know. And so you may have been holding back a little bit if you're in that Two of Wands energy, but now you're not. You know, your passion, you've chosen your passion. You know, you've chosen your direction. Judgment. So Judgment card being here is yeah, you know, it's that would be that maybe that path, maybe that choice wasn't made by you, you know, in that Two of Wands. You might have been stuck because God might be calling you. God's definitely calling you because God always calls us. God's been calling but God's calling me. And I was also in that Two of Wands energy, kind of waiting, you know, trying to see what the world was offering to me or what the world was doing to me. I was maybe holding the globe in my hand, blaming the world, you know, but now I'm not anymore because I'm in that Three of Wands position here, you know. And so that guy, he could be standing there with his dick in his hand because you can't see where it is, you know, right? He's got this one on this wand over here, but where's that other hand? It's hiding. Where'd the globe go? We don't know. But that's that Three of Wands energy because he's got a plan, but you know he ain't a captain of one of those ships because he ain't on the deck, you know, and we know that he or she or it, they, you know, that spirit, that energy, whatever that this Three of Wands energy is that we're reading on is not the owner of those ships because they only got 3 wands, you know, and so if they are the owner of that ship, you know, those ships, and then they spent the majority of their wealth on that, you know, they made a big sacrifice for those ships to be set and sell. So they're standing there with their dick in their hand where they should be on the decks of those boats, you know, if they've invested like that. And that's what this Judgment card is about here, you know. And so like Judgment's, it's a call, you know. It's like a make a choice. It's God's gonna make that choice for you. That's what Judgment is, you know. So in that Two of Wands energy, you know, you might not have been listening to God as well as you are maybe now. Maybe now you're hearing that trumpet, and you're like one of these people that are standing there, okay, God, I can't make this decision on my own, but you're gonna push me to maybe go down and hit the captain of that boat up and try to get a job or something like that. You know, who knows what your plan is or whatever. But either way, you know, it's like maybe you need to take what you got, take your stabs that you got with you right now, and get on one of them boats and just go, whatever it is. You know, volunteer your time. I mean, who knows? You know, but with your back turned like that, looking over the horizon tells me that now that you've made a decision, there's another place that you need to be, and that's why those ships are in your life, and that's why God's calling judgment. So we call judgment on the situation. Yeah. What else we got here? Okay. A lot of cards, Spirit. So you got the Chariot, the Four of Wands, the King of Wands, and the High Priestess. The energy of the Divine One's coming out in the High Priestess, you know. The person who's listening to the Most High, because that's your highest self, that's your highest intuition, that's your highest knowing, is the messages and the discernment that you receive from Most High. And that's what puts you in that High Priestess position, and that's who I'm speaking to. You know, I'm speaking to the High Priestess. The Chariot card is a forward motion. Is telling you that there's going to be some movement. There's going to be action taken. You know, again, it could be a decision card in a lot of ways too, because you have the black and the white sphinxes here. Which are opposing forces, you know, and this is you. This is the High Priestess here, and the seed of that Chariot. And so you're harnessing the energies of both the masculine and the feminine, of the light and the dark, you know, and you're balancing that out because you have the highest knowing, you know, as the High Priestess, you know, we have that highest knowing. We listen to the discernment of God and are very passionate about that. That's why we're coming out in the King of Wands energy, which is a masculine energy, but coupled with this High Priestess, which is a very feminine energy, that's a divine being, you know. And so, and that's what this Four of Wands is so the decision that was made, you know. So in this three of Wands energy, there's a decision, a passionate decision that's been made. That's a judgment by God, you know. It's an unavoidable, passionate decision. With the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, it's a decision that was made by God that put you in an independent and abundant, you know, an affluent position, or or just a self-reliant position. You know, it's like because you made that move, you have what you need for that mobility that those ships can bring you, you know, whichever that is, whatever direction that goes for you. But that judgment was made by God, you know, and so God put you in the seat of this chariot to make that forward motion that you need to make that movement, you know, and that's the Four of Wands union right there is with you and God, with Most High, with Spirit, you know, and so when you decide to trust Spirit, you formed that union, and then that chariot is bringing that in. That's that judgment, you know, but God's putting you in the seat of that because you've passed judgment. And so God says, no, yeah, this is my ordained high priestess here, you know, and she has balanced her energies inside of herself, you know, so she's not at war with her divine masculine anymore, because she is no longer at war with her divine feminine, and she is now the high priestess, you know, and the Most High knows now, because your energy is balanced. You know, our energy is good now. We're strong. We're powerful because we have that strength within, as the Most High does. We're mirroring their image, you know. And so Most High says, hey, I'm going to give you the reins, you know. And that's that Four of Wands right there, you know. They trusted you with that Four of Wands because that's divine union. And divine union is something that there's a few things outside of us that we should seek. Or that we can mirror as God has mirrored themselves with our creation. And our divine union, yeah, we can mirror that here in the physical and join union with another divine being, you know. But that union has to first start within, then radiate outward to where it can manifest into the physical, you know. But it has to be non-karmic. It has to be balanced within yourself, you know, in your own internal expansion, you know, because that's the ever-expanding space is within you. That's where you exist, you know. Everything outside of you is purely a physical manifestation that is on a timeline, you know, and so it doesn't stay there with you forever. And in order to manifest things into this physical experience, we have to first have power and control over our eternal existence within, you know, in that expansive space. You got to know you can't be alone inside of you, or unbalanced inside of you, and expect to manifest a balanced experience with another divine being in the physical manifestation at all, you know. What else, Spirit? What else we got here, Spirit? You got King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles here in the reverse. That is the first read to come out, or the first card to come out in the reverse on this read. So that's not the collective energy, you know. That's not the energy that you're in right now. If you are, that would mean that you're a divine being that is maybe made a different choice, you know, over here, or is having a fall from grace, you know. We all do, you know. It's what it is. It's how we learn. It's how we do become this high priestess. This high priestess, she didn't wake up just knowing everything, you know. She didn't. She didn't at all. In fact, she had to go through judgment too, you know. Right? But that's how we get to that 10 of Pentacles, that 10 of Cups, you know. That's what she knows, you know. That's how she's mastered her emotion. That she's high priestess. That's water energy, you know. Emotion. She's a master of emotion, you know. She has that 10 of Cups, but she has that 10 of Cups with God Most High. That's why she has this divine union. But to get there, it took judgment. She had to get judged too for the times in her life where she was looking for things in the world that weren't really meant for her, you know. Like, and so she tried it out. She tried different people's magic and everything, and she tried to see the world as being like her oyster, or like a space that could offer her more than what she has at the time, because of what Most High has given to her, you know. And that's why her energy at that time was in that upside down King of Pentacles, because the upside down King of Pentacles, you know, they have it all. Like, right? The King of Pentacles, man. King of Pentacles in a upright position. If they're in the reverse, you know, the upright position, they have it all, man. Even in the reverse, they have it all. But the problem is in the reverse is that the King of Pentacles doesn't see what they have, you know. Like, and it's not even a matter of wanting more and more and more and more and more. The King of Pentacles is not necessarily a greedy energy, even in the reverse. It's just in the reverse, they actually go from being frugal to being very miserly, you know, and that's a very big difference. There's a huge difference between frugal and miserly, you know. That's like the difference between resourcefulness, which resourcefulness, word of the day, yesterday. That's the difference between resourcefulness and greedy, you know, or lazy, I guess one might say, you know. And so the King of Pentacles energy in the reverse, you know, is a person that has everything, but yet they're not satisfied, you know. And it's not even that they're out like trying to get more because they have what they need. So it's like they could be stuck kind of like really in a deep rut where they don't experience any growth or they don't experience like great financial gain because they're not even willing to accept maybe a little bit of loss through like charitable thinking, you know, and like charitable ways of generosity of like equal give and take and whatnot, you know. On the reverse, the King of Pentacles could be, because like again, it's like I wouldn't even call it necessarily a greediness, you know, as like a fear-based miserly, you know, like a kind of it's like a mean miser about obtaining resource and comparing so it's like not having having everything you need, but seeing it as like being dull or boring, yet still being jealous of people who are happy with even just having less, I guess. So it's a very stubborn, very difficult energy to work with, for sure, you know. And so, yeah, it's like an energy of like the Two of Wands, like I'm saying, it's the energy of a person who holds the world in their hands, but they're staring into that world, wanting to know why it's not giving them what makes them happy. But it's like, well, you got the whole world in your hands, you know. And so it's like a poverty mentality when you have everything, is the King of Pentacles in reverse, you know. And that's kind of globally, really, it's affecting us. If you really think about it, you know, the High Priestess is the female energy, that feminine energy, and she's coming up out in the upright position. And so we can really look at this King of Pentacles as like the masculine energy right now that is really globally having a massive effect on all of us, you know, because it's just like they're trying to squeeze too much out of that world when they squeezed everything out of it already. But if they just quit squeezing, there's enough for everybody, you know. It's like they're the ones that keep squeezing it, you know. It's like that energy just keeps squeezing it and squeezing it and squeezing it, and they don't realize it's like, hey man, you're just squeezing too hard, you know. like back off a little bit. And that's that feminine energy. That feminine energy can teach that to this world. We got a lot of issues here with the global affairs, you know, for sure. Most I see is that. It makes most I really sad. We talk about it a lot. But see, we're the collective. We're coming out in this Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And that's good energy to be in, you know. Because the Nine of Pentacles is maybe not the King of Pentacles, you know, but the Nine of Pentacles doesn't sit on a throne. The Nine of Pentacles is standing in the field, see? You know? And that really speaks for itself. It says it all, you know. And that gives opportunity. It gives opportunity for us all to travel through to the Ten of Pentacles again and then realize the wealth and that we have and the abundance that we have, and so that we can then get back into that Queen of Pentacles energy and talk to that King of Pentacles in the reverse, you know, and maybe they'll hear us, and then we can turn that energy upside down and really change this world, I think, you know. High Priestess. Okay, we gotta listen to that energy right now. What else we got, Spirit? What else we got here, Most High? How you doing today, Spirit? You doing good? I love you, Spirit. We appreciate everything you do, you know. We really appreciate you for all your messages that you give us and the grace, you know. It's probably pretty embarrassing watching. Yeah, because right now, the collective, the globe, everybody is really in a state of despair, you know. Like Ten of Cups in the reverse is despair, you know. It's like your broken families, it's broken homes, broken people, broken, you know, you're broken everything, you know, all your cups are dumped out, man. When it's on reverse, it's all that joy and everything that you see right here, and it's the reverse of that, you know. And so them kids, they ain't safe in that field, you know. And like them people right there, they ain't safe, you know. There's gonna be people coming here to try to take their connection away from them and try to destroy their family and take their farm and stuff, and that's happening right now. It is, you know, globally in a lot of places it's happening. We're getting ready to really see a lot of that happen and hit hard here in the U.S. We already have, and in really dark ways. I mean, that ten of cups like that, in the reverse, you know, that's a representation of what this King of Pentacles energy in the reverse, this overly bearing masculine energy that is just so miserly, you know. They're just so with everything, you know, and manipulative and hateful, you know. Like that King of Pentacles in reverse could be a very hateful individual. Because they hate everybody that's richer than they are, and then they hate everybody that's poorer than they are. You know, they can't love nothing about the world. They just want to squeeze it. You know, and that's causing so much strain in families, and so much strain on individuals, so much strain in our heart, and so much strain on God that people are really having a hard time right now seeing the happiness. You know, seeing the truth in the happiness, and seeing the any reason why to pursue that ten of cups in the upright, you know. Why get married, you know, like why have kids, why seek abundance, you know, why love God, why follow God, why listen to God, you know. And that's a horrible energy for us to be in, you know. But you see this High Priestess right here, you know, she's right in the middle of this read, man, you know, that upright position, right, that unity with God, and she's got them reins down. That's us, you know. That's we. That's we. That's us. That's we the people, you know. That's us. This is them, you know, right here. And this is God right here, you know. This is us because we're all getting ready to go on a great journey. And I posted a video here earlier and I said, you know, that I'll feel like I mumbled a little bit because I mumbled. But I said, God ship, you know, it's got ship for us that's sailing in. And I said in there, I said that there's many seats on those ships, you know, on those boats. There's lots of seats. And I said that I'll fill every last fucking one of them by myself if I have to, you know. But I don't want to. I think that would be shameful, you know. And I know that's not going to be the case because there's 3 wands there and there's 3 boats there. And so there's room for all of us, man. Well, Spirit, put it on the Spirit, one show, Spirit. What's Spirit? What else we got over here, huh? The Knight of Swords. And so, there's going to be, or there has been, you know, fast moving energy that's come in. That's what brought this judgment in, you know. There's something that came in. There's something that came in that was communication, you know, thoughts, intellect, and something that can change a person's mind, right? Get them see things different, get them think differently or whatever. You know, that Knight of Swords, you know. And so that's why we are standing in that 3 of Wands now, because we have a little more information. We have a little bit more truth, you know. And so we kind of know what direction to take, you know, or what direction that we're going in, at least, you know, like like enough that we've got a plan now, right? We got some judgment's been called, man. That's that Nine of Swords is that judgment. And this judgment was called. That Knight of Swords right there delivered the word, you know, and that's what happened. What else we want to talk about with this judgment card here, Spirit? What else we need to talk about here, Spirit, with this judgment card being here? What the Knight of Swords have to say? That's what I want to know. What does Knight of Swords have to say, Spirit? Yeah. And so that brought a Tower in the reverse. A Tower in the reverse. That Tower card in the reverse tells us that the opposing energies that we're dealing with, that brought some towers down on them, you know, and them towers ain't coming down on us and this high priestess because we ain't down with that shit, man. We don't get hit by towers, you know. We build towers. That's what we do. We build them, you know. You can't hit a high priestess with a tower because the high priestess always sees that tower coming. She's in that divine union with God, so you sure as hell ain't gonna knock her out of her saddle, you know. She's in the has them reins in her hands, you know. And so no matter what situation went down where this Knight of Swords had to come in and God called judgment on, it didn't fall on her head, you know. Not at all. Not at all, you know. In fact, what it did was it brought her balance with this Four of Wands of her masculine and feminine energies. And so she was in this King of Pentacles energy in the reverse. She's in her up right now as High Priestess, you know. I'd rather be High Priestess in any position. Or I'd rather be High Priestess in the upright over the King of Pentacles in any position. In my energy, personally, you know. That's a delicious energy to be in that High Priestess energy because she knows what's coming. She sees those towers. She built those towers, so how can they fall on her, you know? All she has to do is bask in the sunlight that is God's bounty. What else we want to know about this High Priestess here? Spirit? You got an identity on this High Priestess? You want to tell us some of her secrets? High Priestess is also coming out of the Queen of Wands energy. So we're coming out as the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, you know. So that means that this High Priestess has that balance inside herself, you know, because she's a whole ass motherfucker right here, you know, man or woman, the whole ass motherfucker. She got all of that shit going on, and so she's got that what is attractive, you know, to her counterpart, to her Queen of Wands, and so she's coming out in her masculine as that King of Wands, you know, and so this Queen of Wands here could be man or woman. Fire. It's that fire, you know. It's that light of God. It's got a lot of fire in them, a lot of light of God, you know. They love what God grows and stuff. They got the sunflower there, you know, with that wand and the cat, and it's magical person, you know. That person that is demanding as a boss, you know. Large and in charge, just like this High Priestess over here. But this High Priestess with that masculine fire energy, that makes her dangerous, you know. That Queen of Wands right there, it'd be interesting to see what masculine energy is with that Queen of Wands. I think currently it's this King of Pentacles in the reverse, which that's a shame. If that's the case, you know, because this divine duo, yeah, see, she's coming out In her masculine, she's coming out as the Page Wands in the reverse. Which so yes, that's a confirmation that the Queen of Wands here in this energy, that and her masculine energy is coming out as that King of Pentacles in the reverse, as this Page Wands in the reverse, because that individual is very immature. So being that they're the King of Pentacles in the reverse energy, they got a lot of potential, you know, but they kind of have lower passions, you know, lower desires, lower drives, getting in their way, man. They're making some moves that they're going to regret, you know, that they're not being honest about their passions. They're not being honest with themselves about their passions. And they're probably dabbling in some crafts that they don't know what they're getting into, you know. That's the High Priestess, you know, she's trying really hard over here to protect this individual's feminine virtue, you know, femininity, because this High Priestess in her masculine energy is in love with this individual right here, you know, because they're the divine couple right here, you know. And so to see this individual in such a young energy that's making so many hard mistakes is causing this High Priestess to also see this individual in that King of Pentacles energy, which, you know, that's shame, you know. And in a lot of ways, you know, like we could really apply this, you know, even globally, because that's kind of what's going on globally, you know, with the world leaders that we have out here today. They're not on this spread here. There's not a lot of air, you know, energy. There's the Knight of Swords over here, but that's it, you know. But I mean, honest, you know, to be completely honest, like Spirit talks to me, talk to you about my personal life, and so there's a lot of like my own personal stuff in this read, but I'm not really looking at it like that so much too either, you know. It's all of us, you know. This is the energy that we're in. You know, I'm also a part of the collective. That's why I say like we, and you know, I am we, and all that, you know, because that's what it is, you know. Most things that we the important thing that we need to really think about is that these energies are energies that are surrounding all of us, you know, and so they apply in both directions with this, you know. And so if you can't look at yourself from the as the individual who would be sitting on the opposite side of the table in those cards that are reversed or whatever, you know, then you're not going to be able to see yourself in the position that I'm sitting in, or if you were sitting on the opposite side where these cards were facing me, right? If you know, you know. These are the things, I guess, that this Page of Wands right here has to learn. So on the Ten of Pentacles, on 10 of Cups in the reverse, we got the 10 of Pentacles in the upright position. So, see, that tells me that we have a lot of situations in this world today that a lot of people, or a lot of us, you know, are facing a lot of like head over heart decisions, you know. And so this person over here that was in the Three of Wands energy, or all of us, you know, or you know, whoever's in that energy, they had the globe in their hands, you know, and like in that globe they seen like the Seven of Cups energy, you know, so it's like they had a lot of temptation, right, in the Two of Wands. And so they had to make a decision to get into that Three of Wands energy where they're at right now. And that decision they made was really kind of a it was like the head over heart kind of decision, you know, of love versus money, you know. And like in that 10 of Pentacles, you know, this King of Pentacles in the reverse is in the reverse because when they were in the upright, they had that 10 of Cups, you know. And so they had 10 cups. They had it. They had that emotional fulfillment. They had everything they needed because, of course, they did, because they were with that divine feminine, that High Priestess, you know. And so in the upright position, that King of Pentacles was the masculine energy of that Queen of Wands. And so they had a divine couple, you know, like they were a divine pairing. That's a good, that's a powerful couple. Divine feminine, a high priestess energy as coming out of her masculine as the king of fire, coupled with the king of pentacles, like that with the feminine, the queen of wands, and they could get shit done, right? And so, but the king of wands is king of pentacles. There is a little bit immature, you know. A little bit more immature, a lot of immature, especially compared to the high priestess, you know. And so when they were faced with this decision, you know, because like they could have the Ten of Pentacles, but they thought that they had turned their Ten of Cups upside down to secure that Ten of Pentacles in the upright position. Yeah. And so this page of wands over here, that's why they're in the reverse, because they made that decision based on the wrong passions, you know, and they seen things in that world when they were in that two of wands position just before they came into that three of wands where we started this reading. They seen the world was tempting them with things they thought they were maybe passionate about, but they hadn't had a taste of, you know. And so they didn't know any better. But this high priestess, she's been trying to lead this individual, you know, because she's also got that fire in her like that, you know. And so she, you know, she's coming out with a little water, you know. High priestess is water, but there's fire, you know, a lot of fire with her. She's got a lot of fire. Sag, you know, Sag or Aries, you know, or the Leo, but she's not coming out in the Queen of Wands. She's coming out in the King of Wands, you know. And so she's like the Sag or the Aries, you know. The Aries would be in this page of Wands, you know, for sure. And then the Queen of Wands is of course, she's the Leo, you know. She's that bitch, right? And so, Spirit. Yeah, and so that's what that sword's energy was, because that's that sword. He's coming in to try to cut something here, you know, but they're trying to cut this connection so that it flips that ten of cups over, but the price that they pay for it is with that 10 of coins, right? And so it's hard to say you got a good deal, you know. So with that 10 of wands, the 10 of wands, you know, is an interesting card, because some people they see it, they read it in a I won't say negative, you know, but they read it in a more of a challenging, as a challenging aspect, you know. And I don't see the Ten of Wands as a challenging aspect. I actually see it as a success after a lot of struggle. You know, I see the Ten of Wands as this person here. They're gathering them wands up off of the battlefield. You know, it's a different deal though than because in that Seven of Swords energy, that guy he's sneaking in there and he's getting them swords, right. And so maybe the battle hasn't even started or whatever. That's that deception, you know. But with the Ten of Wands energy, the way I see that energy is that you won the war, you know, you won the battle, man. So you're cleaning that up, you know, you're picking up all them wands, and that's all that's yours, you know, that's your firewood, you're killing your fire now, you know, you get to use that passionately, because you've earned it, you know, like you did what you had to do, you got out of that Nine of Wands, you're in that Nine of Wands position, and you're getting your ass handed to you, you know. But you knew that you had it in you, you know, that you were gonna win. You kept fucking going, man. And so now, hey, you're 10 of Wands, you know, you keep carrying that shit home. You're gonna make fucking fire. You're gonna make pizza or something, you know, something good, right? Who knows, man? Pot beans. Who knows what you won in that war? You might be eating steak, you know. And so I don't see it as a bird card. I see it as a celebration card, you know, even more so than the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is a celebration card, but that's temporary celebration because you only got 6 of those wands, you know. So you're preparing for battle. This motherfucker already won. You know, and that's way better energy to be in than then that Three of Wands, man, because that Three of Wands, it's like you really still don't know, this motherfucker, they know. They whooped everybody's ass. One, man. And so that's why when judgment was called with this decision here, no matter what happened over here, whether you're on the losing end with that 10 of Cups or you're on the winning end with that 10 of Pentacles, it's either way, you're going to carry the load still, It didn't fuck with you. It didn't affect you, It didn't. That was God's decision, and you see that. That's why that tower is not falling on your head, man. Right, Spirit? Is that what you're trying to say there, Spirit, man? Am I getting it right? Check my ass, man. You know that, Spirit. I don't mind it. Okay. So we got Justice in the upright position. The Sun card, I knew it was going to come out. And Two Cups in reverse. So, yeah, when judgment was called and the tower fell, that brought justice for sure. It brought a lot of clarity to the situation. And well, ties were cut, I think that this divine pair up here, this divine union, right? That's where the problems came. Because again, like this Two of Cups in the reverse like that is a divine couple, is divine union, It's like and I'm not reading that as a relationship with God, because it could be your relationship with God should always be in an upright position. Yeah, that's damn right, your relationship with God, But I mean, unless you're really fucking up, I guess, yeah, that would come out, I guess, like that. But that nightmare, I'm not trying to have that happen. That would be really bad karma if that happened. And so that somebody could be in that position, sure, definitely, or it could be a relationship, so, And so I pray for you if you're in a position where you got conflict with God like that. I pray for you, because that's not good. People are easier to deal with, you walk away from them. You can't walk away from God, man. Don't forget that. And so God's going to beat your ass up until you figure out how to turn that card in the upright position. And this card right here is God, This is God. God's that baby, because God's not trying to fuck you up, man. And so that's just what it is, Sometimes, in life, God knows too that they gotta protect us from a distance, and so it might seem like they're fucking you up, right? But they ain't fucking you up. You're fucking you up, man. God's this motherfucker sitting on this horse right here. This little white horse. This little baby, man. God's all good, man. It's all good. And if this is your divine connection with another individual, that's your physical manifestation with your divine being, I pray for you too, because they're attacking you. Yeah, guys, you're under attack. Definitely under attack, And so that's why there's been some of this forward movement and shit like that, and that's why she is the one with the reins in her hands, but she's the only one sitting in that carriage, right? And so, yeah, no, it is what it is, man. With your divine being, even if because you're a high priestess, so the one is the one, man. There's no doubt about that. The high priestess knows everything. God's not deceiving the high priestess. So the hard part about being in that energy, the high priestess energy, is always knowing it, and a lot of times the things that we always know are the things that we don't want to know, right? It's kind of like that. It's a double-edged sword. It's like the things that we want to know are the things that we don't want to know too, And so we don't want to know the things that we want to know, and so we know the things that we don't want to know. That's fucked up, right? What else, guys? Where's that one in there like that? I'm gonna take it. This one, I missed it there, but we'll get another one on top of it for clarity. With this King of Swords in reverse, thank you. Do another one on top of this King of Swords Spirit. Why is this King of Swords in the reverse? Spirit tells me that with this, we got the Eight of Pentacles and the Four Cups in the upright position. And so that's definitely Spirit talking, you know. And this King of Swords definitely is this Queen of Wands not listening, you know. There's something that Spirit's working really hard to get this individual to see, you know. And this individual in this card, they're Andromedas, or they're, you know, whatever, they get this energy of spirits, neither masculine nor feminine. It's both, you know, and so there's no penis and vagina in tarot, right? But this individual has more of a masculine look to me, you know? And so, and the energy that I'm feeling right now is like, yeah, the Spirit's trying really hard to get this individual to see something that they're just not seeing, but Spirit's working really fucking hard at it, you know? Like, really, really hard. And this individual is being really stubborn about that. They don't want to see the truth, you know? And that's the energy of this Queen of Wands here. And that's why she's waiting, you know, the Queen of Wands, she's waiting over here with the High Priestess. She's still there with the High Priestess, you know. So the embodiment of this individual, their divine masculine, their divine feminine within them is fractured, you know. And the divine masculine is not listening to what Spirit is trying to show them or tell them, you know, about themselves. That can heal that energy. But the feminine energy of this individual is in the healed position, the upright, with the King of Wands over here with this High Priestess, because that aspect of the individual is in love with this High Priestess. They, you know, the feminine energies of this High Priestess and this Queen of Wands match, you know, they jive. It's the King of Wands energy is fucking with the King of Pentacles energy. That's the masculine energy of this Queen of Wands here, you know. And so the feminine High Priestess is coming out real fiery, real hot. She wants to get shit done, you know. She really wants to work her ass off. She wants to fucking do it, and she's got a lot of passion. Same for this Queen of Wands here. She has that same passion. They share those passions together, you know. That's why they're still connected in that energy. But they're divided, they're separated from each other, because the masculine energy can't jive with the King of Wands, because the King of Pentacles in the reverse is lazy, is self-absorbed, is lacks passion, you know. That they don't want to do nothing. They're grouchy, you know. They're Oscar. They're like, you know. They got a little world. They live in a small bubble, and they don't see outside of it, you know. And the King of Wands energy in the upright position is a fiery motherfucker. You know, they want to get it done. They're loud, you know. They're not sneaky and quiet and secretive and all that shit. They're real outspoken, and they're passionate, and they move, you know. They get shit done, man. They shake it and bake it, like, you know. And so those two energies are real conflicting in these individuals, or in the spirit right now in the realm, you know, in the global scale, right, in the collective. And so that's where the conflict lies. It's like the feminine energies are jiving, but it's the masculine energies that have conflict, you know. And the King of Wands has a lot of backing in this, because the King of Wands is the masculine energy of the High Priestess. So that individual is got balance within themselves, but they have the support of the feminine aspect of the individual they're working with. And so they have the upper hand in a lot of ways. It's just that masculine energy and that King of Pentacles is being real stubborn. And they can be. That's the way the King of Pentacles always is, no matter what. So with that Page of Wands in the reverse like that, with that King of Pentacles, they're being irrational, you know. The stubbornness doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. No spirit. So down here on the ground, we got the Two Swords in the upright position. And the Ace of Swords, but in the reverse. See that Ace of Swords? That's Excalibur, you know. That's the sword of truth. That's God's sword, right? And that's the sword that's in the hand of the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Swords. That when she fucking swings that thing, it cuts bullshit, right? And so in the upright position, that sword always means the truth, right? That means that you're dealing with truthful individual, that you're dealing with truthful situation, and that everything's out on the table, you know. with clarity from God Most High. And so coming out with this two of swords, you know, is this person right here. They need to cut through the bullshit too. Like they need to make some real decisions, right? Like that's that two of swords is the same energy as the two of wands is kind of. But this person wants to be really defensive and not see the options that they have, you know. So at least with the two of wands, you know, you would be in an energy where you do see options, so that you're able to make that choice that would get you into this three of wands where we started this read. But this two of swords has been really difficult blocking this page of wands to see the truth or to speak the truth, you know. Like there's something maybe that they don't want to be spoken, you know, maybe something they don't want to see within themselves, you know, and accept as truth, you know. They want to deny that truth. They're hiding. And so that's why when they were faced with this decision, you know, whatever decision they made that put them in that three of wands, over here, that head over heart decision that we're talking about, they kind of probably made a decision that wasn't from the best, you know, it wasn't divinely guided, possibly. They weren't getting good advice, you know. Yeah, 10 of swords on the bottom of the deck, you know. And so it put an end to a situation. The decision was made that put an end to something that, if at best you pulled even at, because it's hard to say what's better. 10 of cups, 10 of pentacles. So like, you know, like this individual turned their 10 of cups upside down to gain the 10 of pentacles, you know. So would you rather have emotional abundance or financial abundance? That's the question. But whatever decision they made, it was cause for this King of Pentacles over here to lose both, kind of, it looks like to me. That's why they're coming out in the reverse, and they also are coming out in the reverse here with the 10 of Cups, you know. But the 10 of Pentacles is the upright position for this High Priestess with this High Priestess, you know. And so the High Priestess, I think, is in a position where she still is like having her 10 of Cups taken away from her. So like she's losing her 10 of Cups, but she didn't want to gamble with it, you know. And but she's still keeping the 10 of Pentacles, you know. And so the 10 of Cups is like going away with this King of Pentacles, but they're in the reverse on her, you know. And so it's like they're kind of being used against her by this Page of Wands in the reverse, right? Which is the masculine energy of this Queen of Wands over here. But they're just very immature. They don't understand what they're doing. And they don't see the loss that they're actually suffering, because the High Priestess is already in her divine energy of her balance, you know, divine feminine with that masculine energy coming out as the King of Wands, right? And so she's not going to lose her 10 of Pentacles, but she don't want to lose her King of Pentacles. And she feels this, like it's like bleeding out kind of, because she's already really made that deep strong connection with the feminine energy, because that feminine energy is coming out in the Queen of Wands, right? And so that's the divine counterpart to her King of Wands, which is her masculine. And so she knows that like this very powerful connection is real. And she loves the King of Pentacles in the upright position. She's very attracted to that energy, you know. And that, so it's a masculine couple pairing too. And when you combine the masculine energy of the King of Pentacles with the masculine energy of that King of Wands, you got a powerhouse. You really do. But she don't want to see that truth, you know. Or he don't want to see that truth, you know. But she does. And she's been trying to tell him this, you know. She's been working really hard trying to tell him this. And that's caused conflict. What else is there about this 10 of Pentacles spirit? What else do you want to tell us about this 10 of Pentacles spirit? Okay, so we got the Ace of Wands, Five of Swords in reverse. So, again, coming out in the reverse, these energies are energies that have been avoided by the High Priestess, you know. But they are energies of somebody who, okay, well, this decision was made, and it brought a lot of growth. It should have brought a lot of growth. It was a poorly planned decision that was designed around winning at all costs, essentially. But it was supposed to be a decision that was made that would show to the High Priestess energy over here, honestly, that they don't know jack shit, right? And that this was an action taken in this Five of Swords energy, where this King of Pentacles, it's like, I'm going to take my toys and go play somewhere else, you know, and have my passionate new beginning, right? Things are supposed to get heated for me. I'm gonna be fun, having a great time, right? But the high priestess, you know, she's seen this energy is coming. She's seen this energy in this King of Pentacles, because this King of Pentacles often was acting in that vibe of like, hey, you know, I'm gonna grow up. I'm gonna leave you out here hanging. Yeah, I'm gonna take from you, right? I'm going to take from you in the upright position. I'm going to take from you, and I'm going to gather what I got here, and I'm going to bail on your ass, and you're going to be crying there in the background, and you're going to go fuck yourself, right? And I'm going to have a passionate new beginning. That's what the King of Pentacles has been thinking about, right? Because that's kind of what that Page of Wands in reverse energy is. And they didn't want to see the truth. They didn't want to be honest about it, you know. The Queen of Pentacles, or the High Priestess here, she knew that was the energy. That's what she knew here with this. She could see that in that Two of Swords, that there was secrets. There was thoughts going on in the head of this King of Pentacles here in this Page of Wands reverse energy that was easy for her to see, but they really thought they were deceiving her, you know. And so this King of Pentacles was like, fuck you. They were faced with this decision where they're like, well, if I turn the Queen of Pentacles, this situation here, if I sacrifice that, my emotions there, you know, and then I'm going to gain the Ten of Pentacles, and I'm going to have this passionate, I'm going to run off and have this passionate new beginning or whatever, you know. And so, but what happened is that shit turned them in the reverse, you know, and the Ten of Pentacles stayed in the upright, right? And so what she was telling him that pissed him off was true. It was right. He just didn't want to see it, you know. He didn't want to see it. And so, like, this passionate new beginning that they thought were going to bring, they thought they were going to ruin that shit, the passionate new beginning and the growth, and take all the shit from this High Priestess. But really what happened is that it didn't happen for that King of Pentacles like that. It didn't. And so now they're stuck with that upside down Ten of Cups, and then these cards coming in the reverse like that, and the Ten of Pentacles, you know, is in the upright position with the responsible party over here, right? You know, this is the energy of a person, an individual who has allowed their masculine energy to dominate within them and run them astray karmically, you know. But they have a divine feminine energy within them that's looking for their counterpart, so that they could then become the divine masculine in that King of Pentacles energy. One more. Here's good. We got another one. Just 10 ones. Here's good. What we got here? What's good? Strength. Yeah, see, you won those battles, man. We won them wars, you know. That's what we are. We're the badass motherfuckers. And we're not struggling with our load either, you know. We picked that up easy, even after years and eons and centuries, lifetimes of being battling, struggling, fighting, you know. We tamed that beast easily, you know. Now we just carry our load. We're thinking about making pizza. We don't give a fuck about all this other shit. Moon card in the upright. Yep. And so Spirit has called judgment on this, and Spirit's telling this High Priestess, just trust your, telling us to trust it, trust our knowing, that we know what's going on, and that Spirit's got us, Most High's got you, don't worry about that shit. That's not your divine union with Most High. If that's another motherfucker out here that's fucking with you and shit because they ain't listening to themselves, they ain't listening to Most High, then, man, you're the one that has reins in your hands, right? You're the one that's running that chariot. You're the High Priestess here, That's the energy that we're coming out as. That's us. That's us, the collective. And so, the reason we have them reins in our hands like that is because we know that Most High is never going to leave us crying over nothing, man. Never, Most High is the ones that is actually in charge of them reins. And that's why Most High says, well, I'll give you my best horses. I'm going to give you my best carriage, and I'm going to dress you in my best garbs, and I'm going to treat you like my best angel, And that's what it is, right? And that's the divine union that we all should be looking for, because there's always abundance in that, man. You're never looking at any cups tipped over. They don't fucking tip over your cups like that. That don't fucking happen, man. You see this motherfucker in the upright position, right? He would be crying about those cups right there, But we're not in the upright position. We're in the upright, but in the reverse, right? We're in the reverse, and so in the reverse, this motherfucker right here is trying to figure out, since God gave him that whole river, he's trying to figure out how the fuck he's gonna fit that whole river in 5 cups. Yeah, right. So that's what's in that cup right there. That God's got a whole river full of for you, man. He's gonna tell you. He's saying, this guy in the reverse, he's like, nah, I'm fucking crying about shit. He said, I've dumped them cups over right there because they had some other shit in them that I didn't need. Now I got a whole river of stuff over there God gave me. A whole river of love, emotional abundance, right? Castle and shit. Power, you got motherfucker back here, You got a dam back there, a little bridge or whatever, making electricity because we're fucking electrical. There ain't no crying with that cup, not associated with us now, People wanted you to feel like you're in that energy. Spirits wanted you to feel like you're in that energy. Government has made you want to feel like, there's a lot of things in this world that want to put us in that energy, but we're not. Never will be, man. Never will be. That's what got this fucking King of Pentacles caught up. If this Nine of Wands energy, see, in the reverse, is that's the energy that this again, what's associated with this, that's the lie, that's being told by this King of Pentacles, is again, they want to pretend like they're embattled, they want to pretend like they're at war and everything, because they're trying to convince people to carry the 10 wands for them, So they put that bandage on their head, and they want to act like they're all weak and limping along, and they need help, so somebody will carry their load for them. But we're not like that. We carry our own load, And so that's why the masculine energy of the King of Wands with this feminine clashed heads again with this King of Pentacles in the reverse, because the King of Pentacles in reverse is just lazy. They don't want to carry their own load, They want to get other people to carry the load for them. They want to pretend like they're getting wounded so that other people will take care of them, And then when they're not getting what they want, they'll put that act on again so that somebody else will take care of them, and they don't have to be accountable for the fact that they've been lazy. It's all they got to do is carry their own load, and then they'll have everything that they want. They won't be stuck in that King of Pentacles in the reverse energy. But instead that person is stuck, that spirit, that individual, or that country, could easily apply to the U.S., we're stuck in that mentality that they need help, or they need something, they need somebody, and it's getting, or it's like as the years progress, that's exactly where they're at, because they haven't been taking the time to fight their own battles and everything, and develop the strength to carry that load on their own, like this high priestess has, and like the feminine energy of this divine or this King of Pentacles in the reverse is coming out, like I said, and that Queen of Wands energy. And so the feminine energy of this individual has, but the masculine energy is like a spoiled little bitch. It's an interesting energy, really, kind of manipulative. Not truthful with themselves though. Not even like it's like a really good manipulation, but it's like they manipulate themselves into these positions that they then feel that they gotta fucking hide from. And so that keeps them in that where they gotta lie, they gotta make up stories, they're not available, they're not responsible, they're not any of that shit. They don't follow through. They're not anything that the King of Pentacles is in the upright position. They're like a spoiled little frat boy, kind of just irresponsible. Has a ton of abundance and everything, but just doesn't know how to be responsible with it. And so they make stupid decisions like that kind of puts them at ground zero again, instead of like rising above, because negative 10 plus a 10 is 0 in my book, no matter how I play it. And 10 positive plus a 10 positive is 20 positive. That's just how it is, no matter what, man. And so when you make decisions like that, when you got two $20 bills in your hand, and like it's kind of like if you gamble with one, you lose both. That's pretty stupid. Like, whereas if you put them together, or if you got two $10 bills in your hand, yeah, you gamble, you lose. I don't know. The world's a confusing place. It's hard to make proper decisions, I know for a fact I haven't always made the best decisions. Lovers. It's in the upright position. Maybe there's hope. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's just a matter of like, what that lower card is saying. Is it saying to this King of Pentacles right here? It's saying, hey, man, you need to spend some time with yourself and with Most High, right? So, like, you need to bring union together with this internal struggle that you have with your own divine feminine, feminine and masculine energies, right? Because the King of Pentacles in the reverse is really holding this individual back. They've got it figured out in the feminine energy. They've mastered that. That's why they're coming out as the divine pairing to this high priestess. Because high priestess. That's a divine. If you're gonna be the counterpart to a high priestess, then you have divine energy. I mean, that's duh. But yeah, man. And I think that's where Spirit's saying too. That's the end of it, right? The end of the read. Close it out there, A lot of lies in this situation, There's just so many lies with that seven, the seven of swords, There's a lot of deception in this read, a lot of lies, It's like the Ace of Swords is in the reverse. That the Two of Swords is just not, somebody's not wanting to see the truth. The Page of Wands is a total liar. King of Pentacles is just an ass, self-absorbed, just only out for themselves, But God is here. God called judgment. And the good news is that you're not the liar, that we're not lying, because the tower is not coming down on us. And there's going to be justice, for whatever lies have been told. And Spirit says that we just all got to be hanging in there and grow together, and have respect for each other, have respect for our space, for our temples, and have respect for each other's temples, and always just go to God, listen to God, listen to God. Always, 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 always. You're not alone. It is a vast space inside yourself. It's the universe inside you. You know, and you are the master of that universe. So that's like putting the keys in the hand of a tractor trailer rig, 18-wheeler in the hands of a toddler, right? It's a pretty scary concept, but you'll learn how to drive fast and you'll kick ass and do a good job. So that's what we have for today, you guys. For anybody, whoever's out there, and we got this. We're in this together. The ones who know it for, I love you. The ones who don't, I love you too. God loves you. God tells me that, that God loves you, And then they got us, they got we the people, we're good. Get some popcorn and enjoy the show, because I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a wild ride, y'all. Anyhow, I got to get my rig fixed. So that's Shesh, no way. Signing out, man. Saying goodbye right now from Spiritual Ranch. And then I'll try to hit you with one of these again soon. And I've dropped another video here on the pickup. I'm doing the fuel tanks, everything. If you've watched the other video I put out there or wherever down. So anyhow, keep chin up. They're not communicating, right? But they're thinking about you, and so vice versa. Like, there's a lot of love in the air. There's just so much confusion, so much conflict, and like there's so much fabricated lack of trust, man, and just a fabricated sense of not knowing, when we know, we fucking know, and when we stand on that, we win. So I love you guys.